NBA Final, the Thunder beat the Pacers 120-109 Monday to go up 3-2 in the best of 7. College World Series number 3 Arkansas eliminated Murray State with a 3-0 win. 19 strikeouts and the complete game no-hitter for the Razorbacks' Gage Wood, who tossed the third no-hitter in College World Series history and the first since 1960. The Razorbacks able to stave off elimination. Their next game has a trip to the semifinals on the line. They'll take on the losing team of the UCLA-LSU matchup. That was suspended last night in the 4th inning due to weather, with LSU up 5-3. They're set to resume things this morning. Oregon State and Louisville are set to play this afternoon. That's an elimination game. The winner advances to the semifinals to face Coastal Carolina. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive.
That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
You don't have to sink a 30-footer from the end of your driveway to come out of the NBA playoffs smelling like a rose. SportsGrid brings you all the angles, insights, and odds.
And more to make you a winner.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The only place in football where the offense is always on the field is on Moneyline. With the two best hosts in radio, Donnie Rightside.
If anybody wasn't watching, listen, I don't know what you were doing.
And Kevin Walsh.
Forget act like you've been there before.
On the SportsGrid Radio Network, SiriusXM Channel 159.
Oh, the best every day officially underway. It is Tuesday. It's time for Moneyline, and we do have a flu game appearance today by Kevin Walsh.
Donnie, look.
With your boy Donnie Rightside here as we go. Look at that Pedialyte. Just sit lifesaver. Just take a little coldies. What'd you do yesterday, huh? How'd it go down?
I'm working with, what is it, the Advil cold and sinus. So we're going with that right now. The NyQuil. I finally got an actual night's rest, which is why I'm giving today a shot.
You had a test run on this show to see if you can do later on today action.
Yes, that is exactly what is going on, by the way. Because worst case scenario, Donnie can just carry me through this hour. My question, Donnie, and I don't know at this point if you just never get sick or what your whole story is, but you know when it's just like you have a cold, but you can't really breathe. Like it's not like the worst sickness of your life, but you're like, I can't sleep because I can't breathe.
Yes.
That was a lot of the driving force of my last couple days where it's like, you know, I have my little bracelet that tells me like my sleep. I'm getting like 2.5 hours. They're like, yeah, you're at the 1% recovery. You should probably try and get some more sleep. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, my eyes look like they're going to fall out of my head. How does it judge your sleep, though?
Yeah, how does the watch judge the sleep, though? I never understood it. How does it know you're getting good sleep?
I don't know.
The arm's moving? Your arm hasn't moved?
It's probably your heart rate, and if you're moving around a lot in the bed, maybe, I'm guessing. Like, I buy it. I'll say this. When I'm feeling good, it usually seems to be like thumbs up. And if I'm not feeling good, it does seem to have a good, unless it's a placebo effect, but I don't think so.
The oxygen levels that sort of get into you there. Probably, what do you think Lisi has one of those watches? Does it formulate for him what his sleep is? Does he get angry? What is it?
I might be willing to chip in and buy him one if he promises me access to the results.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what I got.
I only got 45 minutes last night. What do you want?
You pull up the bracelet. He had like a 12-hour sleep in the middle of the day. Like,
I don't get any time off. Exactly. I'm exhausted. I work every day. But that's why, Joe, if you don't work a morning show, that still means you can get 12 hours of sleep in no matter what. That's not true, which is the way it is. So, Kevin, under the weather yesterday, but the NBA Finals, they weren't under the weather. I told you on the show yesterday. There were two angles I liked and I put out. Was Chet Holmgren, I thought would go over 8.5 rebounds. It was really expensive. He had back-to-back days with with double-digit rebounds, 10 and 15. So I'm like, I think he should get there. Started out really slow, but he got you last night, right? Didn't he get you? Like no assist, and the points weren't enough.
It was one of those.
That for a little
bit. I had his points and rebounds at 25.5, and it's a classic crystal ball. Hey, Kev, you played 34 minutes, took 15 shots, and did grab double-digit rebounds. Do you want to bet more? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's ramp it up. Yep. And just 4 of 15. The worst is he pump faked me. He started the game, Donnie, like awesome made layup, beautiful made 3, and I went, this guy's scoring 25 tonight. He missed his next 8 shots.
It's tough scene, man. It was because 40 points filled in by Williams. He had SGA for his normal 30-plus points. Didn't get to his points prop last night. But the question I had was, I didn't watch a lot of this game live. A lot of the times I'm on my phone and looking at the statistics and checking in every 3 to 4 minutes of the score. If the score gets closer, I sort of tune in. But, I go to sleep earlier, so I wasn't up for the second half where I would have tuned in the fourth quarter once the Pacers had made that run after the Siakam 3 to get it within 2 points. Like, I got to tune this in. I love the Pacers with 9.5 points last night. So when I woke up, it sort of got that little smile. Like, I liked the -6 in the previous game, OKC. It was like, never should have. They won about 7. I hit that one. And it felt like the same way last night where they were in control for the majority of the game. But in that fourth quarter, it's like the Pacers are down 2. Like, that's an easy cover. They're not going to lose by double digits. And they ended up losing by double digits. But the one thing I couldn't figure out, again, until this morning, when I was reading the headlines and watching the highlights, is I was like, hell is going on with Halliburton? Because it's easy to say, like, oh, well, he got injured. What is it? Well, wait, he played 34 minutes. What do you mean he got injured late in that game and still only shot the ball 6 times? But the fact that he got injured early certainly hampered them. Now, granted, TJ McConnell stepped up 8 of 14 from the floor, 18 points, but Halliburton scoring 4 points and missing every shot he took, and them still been in fighting distance in the fourth quarter. Just an interesting game all the way through. And then the questions now, what's we going to get out of Game 6, Halliburton?
Yeah, that's kind of the struggle with it, right, Donnie? Because we know he's not 100%. It's hard to gauge what you can anticipate. And I think for me, I know there's a lot of people out there like, Thunder, obvious. They're going to roll this team. They're going to knock them out. But again, I go back to the series against Denver. They went and they lost by double digits Game 6 in Denver. Based on who the Pacers are, everything suggests they would go out there and win Game 6. The problem now is Halliburton okay? Because he is their most important player, despite the Pascal Siakam people. I'm struggling with it, Donnie, because it looks like a clear spot to get involved with like a Pacers team total or get involved with some of his props, Halliburton. But, I don't want to do what I did with Anthony Davis that day, right? That was a lesson learned. That was on me, nobody else. The excitement.
The AD game? No, I'm surprised they have numbers because this morning when we started handicapping the game, me and Joe, there's no way like Halliburton has a points prop in this game. Like, we're not sure if he's going to play or how well he's going to play. And his number is still the same, 14.5 as a prop. Now, you're saying stuff like, he's 16.5 normally. We don't know if he can run, walk, or how effective he's going to be. And it's just 14.5. So, like, I look at that right away and be like, I want to bet Tyrese Halliburton to the under immediately. But I've been burned in situations like, hey, this guy's, game time decision, like a Karl Anthony Towns, or was it Nesmith the one game? I was like, well, I'm going to go under. And the guy had like 10 points in the first quarter, just knocking down triples when we didn't know if his ankle would be sustainable, be able to hold up. Right. But I look at the Halliburton and say to myself, like, a good game for him is 20 when he's healthy and he's on. Now I'm worried about how many minutes he's actually, because correct me if I'm wrong, he played a lot of minutes last night after he got that injury. It'll be interesting to see the flare up, but are we making like a big to-do about nothing, or is this actually going to be a big deal moving forward? That's what I'm trying. We haven't had to do that yet in this series. Like, hey, I know who's going to play. I know who's healthy, and let's get after it. Now we don't have that.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to play, right? He played 34 minutes of the game. He's definitely going to play. He gets 2 days off in between to try and, get as right as possible.
Yeah.
It could be a scenario, Donnie, get in, get out, first quarter points. I think maybe the safest option is probably the made threes if you want to bet on Halliburton. Because
he's not driving to the rack, just going to sit out there.
It's going to be unlikely. I think that you get where you need to be on his numbers without, 3 made triples, right? Or even 2. What are they hanging his straight points prop at? 14.5.
Halliburton 14.5. Yeah.
But see, my thing is with that, and I understand this is a team that can be competitive even without him, but if he's that hurt, why are the Thunder only a 5-point favorite?
Yes.
That's the shortest number they've laid in Indiana.
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to get my head wrapped around this morning, saying Halliburton, when he's healthy, 4.5, 5 points. Halliburton, when we don't know if he's going to be effective in the game, 4.5, 5 points is what we're looking at now across the betting landscape. 5's primarily everywhere. BetMGM here in New Jersey at a -4.5. But I look at that price point again, 224, 225, 225.5. It's really interesting to me because, again, the handicap is, I don't know if Halliburton's going to be all there. And he scored 26 points, hit 6 3-point shots, told you not to worry about it, and you shouldn't have worried about it. But I see the 14.5, and immediately I want to go under. But we'll get more reports coming out over the next couple of days. And by the way, TJ McConnell was really good in that game. We'll see if he can pour in some more at home. I'm hoping for a Game 7. We need a Game 7 Friday night. We need a Game 7 on Sunday night. So Moneyline, we'll be right back.
The boys of summer have returned and taken the field for the great American pastime.
You should monetize that.
Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
With your news flash, I'm Trey Westerberg. This update brought to you by Sky Rizzi. All 50 states as well as Washington, D.C. and 4 U.S. territories have agreed to sign a $7.4 billion settlement with the company and once prominent family behind OxyContin. The settlement resolves pending litigation against Purdue Pharma, which under the leadership of the Sackler family invented, manufactured, and aggressively marketed opioid products for decades, according to the lawsuits. Local, state, and federal law enforcement officers who cover their faces while conducting official business could face a misdemeanor charge in California under a new proposal announced Monday. If approved, the bill would require all law enforcement officials to show their faces and be identifiable by their uniform, which should carry their name or other identifier. It would not apply to the National Guard or other troops, and it would exempt SWAT teams and officers responding to natural disasters. I'm Trey Westerberg with your news flash.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Something amazing is happening. Despite a citywide blackout, this company is still up and running. That's because CDW deployed and managed a cost-effective Eaton Trip Light Series Smart Pro UPS to safeguard equipment easily and reliably. Keep the power on and protect your IT equipment from electrical challenges. Trip Light by Eaton and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/triplight.
You don't have to sink a 30-footer from the end of your driveway to come out of the NBA playoffs smelling like a rose. SportsGrid brings you all the angles, insights, and odds.
And more to make you a winner.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The NBA Finals. We've got a full card in Major League Baseball today. By the way, it's a good card today. Been a little bit quiet lately in Major League Baseball for me, looking at angles and short cards like we had yesterday and openers like Shohei Ohtani was on the mound yesterday. Got roughed up a little bit in the first inning, but poked through a couple RBIs himself. They end up winning that game against the Padres. Randy Vasquez on the mound tonight for the Padres. He should be getting busted up by the Los Angeles Dodgers. But Ohtani's back on the mound also, Kevin. And we're talking about topics here. We'll get to the Stanley Cup, and again, we'll round back there on the NBA. But Ohtani moves to a -600 price now on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Just a few short weeks ago, -130s, -150s, 2-to-1s. Pitches last night, doesn't do all that effective, but now we take a look and say, well, if he's going to pitch and he's healthy the rest of the way, and he hits his 300, which he's doing now, he'll be up there in the RBI race, the home run race. It's like it's just his award to lose over the next couple of years, which then I brought up this topic was, you get like Jokic fatigue. It's like, come on, we can't just give this guy the MVP every year. But Jokic plays basketball, right? Offense, defense, that's what you're supposed to do. And I was asking Joe, saying, we're going to get to this point where, Kevin, in 2 years, like, well, Ohtani hit 280, 33 home runs, 100 RBI, and then was 10-7 on the mound with a 3.8 ERA. Like, yeah, but he pitches, so that's really not fair anymore. So we probably have to take that out of the equation and just look at his hitting statistics. Like, are we going to get to the point where Ohtani wins like 5 MVPs and people go like, well, it's unfair that he pitches. Like, if he didn't pitch, like, it would be a closer race, so therefore we have to take something away. It feels like we're going to get to that with him.
Yeah, it's interesting, Donnie, because I feel as if a lot of his pricing is based on he pitches too. The thing is, right, up until this point of the season, his pitching has been useless. He's pitched 1 inning. He gave up a run. They won the game, but that's it. Like, I think the assumption has been, oh, well, he's going to pitch, because typically the idea is a DH cannot win MVP. Now, Ohtani steals far more than a typical DH. And then you factor in the pitching piece of it all. But if he's not going to pitch, like, what do you think an over-under innings pitched is for Shohei this season?
I don't even know. Like, what would it be at this point? Like, he's got 1.
Like, I'll throw numbers out to 100? You, and you tell me when it's like, that sounds way too much. Like, how could he get to 100 innings? How many? Like, Don, do you think he has a game this year where he throws 6 innings in the same game?
Yes, I do. Because they would be.
Do you think that happens? Do you think that happens 4 times?
Because I need to know their game plan, because that's what we were trying to figure out. Like what's the next step for Ohtani? Is it okay through 26 pitches, 40, 50, 60, then away you go? Or is it like, hey, let's really slow play this? Like, we have a couple injured pitchers. We get it. We'll get him some feels, but are we going to put him in our rotation where he's a starting pitcher? Because, yes, then you're expected 5 to 6 innings every single night within, like, the next 3 weeks, theoretically, with what pace he's on right now. Like, you don't bring him up because I don't think they bring him up to be like, okay, 26 pitches tonight, 40 next week, you're never going to go over 50. Like, the progression is, I don't think they say, well, he could just be a really good starter, or opener, I should say, or he could be really good out of the bullpen. Like, their goal is probably to get him on the mound. So I don't think it's, hey, this year, let's just do openers. Like, I do believe, like, he's going to be stretched out in time for, let's just say, we're June 17th. By July 17th, Kevin, which would give you half of July, August, and September, he should be 5, 6, 7 innings at that point.
I think it's interesting, though, because I felt, Donnie, from the reporting, and you can correct me if I'm off base here, but it almost made it sound like, yeah, Ohtani wants to pitch, so we're letting him pitch. As opposed to the Dodgers want him to pitch. Not that the Dodgers never want Shohei to pitch, but like, he's probably been beating the table like, listen, man, I am who I am. Let me be who I am. If that's the case, Dave Roberts is very much going to be like, hey, Shohei, that was great, pal. Thanks for those 3 innings. It hit the bricks. All right. Now go. Like, they're going to be so cautious with this guy. Like, maybe I think the over-under, Donnie, is in the 50s, 60s of innings pitched for this guy. I'm not buying that he throws 100 innings.
Because let's just say, again, 1 start per week. Like, you're going to have 10 or so weeks where he's full go. But, it's hard to gauge like how many innings. Like, a 200-inning pitcher is usually like, hey, man, that guy's really eating innings. So you cut it down to half, but he's not really at the halfway. You're through April, May, and half of June, but he's not like, hey, just threw 7 innings last night in his first start. Like, they're ramping him up. And I just want to see where it goes. Like, are they going to get to the point where just like, hey, you know what? Every 5th or 6th day, we'll basically have a bullpen game. But Ohtani, how good do you feel? Do you want to go 2 innings, 3 innings today? It's interesting how they started, because no pitch, like, hey, Zach Wheeler just came back and they let him open tonight. Like, they don't do that. Like, you're in minor leagues, which again, he can't be in the minor leagues. He's a Major League Baseball player where it's like, get your normal rest and throw 70 pitches. We'll see how you're on 5. Like, he's playing every single day. But it's interesting that, Bob Nightingale's like, that guy ain't coming back to the All-Star break. And, he's going to throw tomorrow night and be an opener. I'm interested to see what his next start entails because his prop was over 1.5 strikeouts. Didn't get any. I didn't think he'd go past the first inning. Like if he's just playing, like, hey, Kevin, 12 pitches, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's like, okay, we're at the, like they were never going to sit him down and bring him back for a second inning. But then he gets 2 base knocks, 2 RBIs. They win that game. It's like, okay, Ohtani's back. We're going to wait on the other pitchers. I just think it's fascinating where the evolution of Ohtani in 2025, but also, when is enough on that market race? Like, man, I'm not laying minus 300, 400, 500, now 600 on Ohtani. And I go, well, what happens if I told you he's like Judge and he's minus 25,000 the first week of September? Like, man, should have got in on that $600 price, shouldn't I?
It feels like there's just got to be a level of regret. So when we had March Madness, and I regretted not betting all 4 1 seeds to make the Final Four just for a small amount, right? Like if it was going to happen, it was going to be this year. And you just look back on the things like, why didn't I parlay Judge and Ohtani each to an MVP?
Yes.
Like it was going to take a lot to knock those guys out. And if one of them got knocked out, fine, right? But you could have done that in a parlay, Donnie. You could have got probably 8 to 1, if not better.
Yeah.
Like preseason.
Yep.
So it feels like an opportunity was missed.
Pete Crow Armstrong out here, dominating the field at this PCA, my guy out there in Chicago, which he's back out there today. By the way, temperatures in the 80s in Chicago, light wind blowing out, but a number dropping on the total. Say it ain't so. Was Ben Brown the new ace of the series? And by the way, I do want to talk about another ace here coming up next with Kevin. There is a draft show coming up next week, people.
SportsGrid.
Stamping out the boredom in baseball year after year. We bring you all the angles, insights, and information you need. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
1954, Rocky Marciano beats Ezra Charles in his 3rd World Heavyweight Boxing title defense at Yankee Stadium.
Winner by unanimous decision, and still the heavyweight champion of the world, Rocky Marciano.
In 1969, Marciano was killed in a small plane crash. Marciano was 46. For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
New University of Geneva research suggests AI better at understanding human emotional intelligence than most humans.
Is this Tech Minute about something serious, or are you just really, really good at pretending?
No, 6 generative AIs actually tested 30% better than humans on standard emotional intelligence tests.
If nothing else, I'm really good at creative guessing.
Even wilder, AI generated new emotional intelligence tests from originals as useful as the ones humans took years to develop.
It's like a party where I know everyone but don't remember their name.
Meaning AI might replace human psychologists, but only when supervised by humans. For now, anyway.
My deepest fear, knowing the answer 5 minutes before I'm asked.
Follow me at Capalbo on X and stay tuned to the Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
Moneyline.
You are what your record says you are. 31-39. It looked like the Braves had it going for a little bit, right? Back over 500. Okay, now we found our level. They're just a bad baseball team right now. Are they redeemable with a legitimate chance to, one, make the playoffs and do some damage?
Currently, right now, they're not worth anything.
Catch Moneyline with Donnie Rightside and Kevin Walsh. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network. In baseball, a batter gets 3 strikes. In sports gaming, you get 1.
No do-overs.
You need all the help you can get. And that's what you get with us, your trusted source for gaming odds and more. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
I do want to talk a little Stanley Cup because, Kevin, I am 1-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals here. I bet game number 5. I love the Florida Panthers. I took them on the money line, the money line, not the puck line. Over the weekend, cashed that ticket. And the good thing about Bet365, get up 3 goals, Kevin, get your money. They had a 3-0 lead. They still won easy 5-2, but that was nice. And Brad Marchand, I don't know what the hell's going on with that guy. Old man in the sea out here scoring every single game.
Yeah.
Big goal after big goal after big goal. I did want to talk about this because we do have the draft coming up next week in the NBA. And fresh off the NFL draft, it was like, what the hell's going on with Shedeur Sanders? Like, this guy we thought was going to be the number 1 overall pick coming into the season somehow gets down to a 5th-round pick, and his interviews were terrible, and he had too much cologne on, was listening to music, and didn't know any plays on the chalkboard, and wanted to pick the team he wanted to go to. Didn't work out in his favor. He winds up in Cleveland. But Ace Bailey was always thought to, once the ping pong balls were through and people started to focus on the draft, he's a top 3 player, which meant probably not going to go number 1 because that's Cooper Flagg. But then it was the 2 Rutgers kids at 2 and 3, and it seemed like Harper was getting the benefit of the doubt to be number 2, but Ace Bailey's 3, and the Sixers fans, Sixers front office, like, you know what, that's our guy. Now news comes out like, doesn't want to work out for teams. Interviews are kind of awkward at this point, but I am getting a story here from John Clark in Philadelphia, where it says Ace Bailey will visit the Sixers later this week. Sources say he will meet with the Sixers executives on Thursday and then have a private workout with the team on Friday in Camden, New Jersey, which is where their practice facility is at. The draft is almost 1 week away, as it says. But Evan Sidery came out with a report today. He's like, he's dropping, and he's doing it to himself, which I don't understand. Like, JY was on talking to us today, trying to sort of, well, here's what he wants. He wants to be a star, and if he knows he goes to the top 3 teams, he's not going to play all that much. What kind of thought process is that for a guy coming in? Like, I don't want to go high. I want to go to a bad team so like I can get mine. Like, it's just like you try to communicate that to a team like, hey, look, we want to win a championship. How do you fit in our needs? Well, look, I just want the basketball my first 3 years, and I'll figure out the rest. Is he doing that?
It's funny, right? Because typically it would go the other way, where it's like, I don't want to be in the top 3, 4. That's where all the bad teams are. I want to go, 5, 6, 7. That's where all the good teams are. But this year it is different, right? Like, the idea is the Mavericks, the Spurs, and the Sixers will all probably, could be pushing towards the playoffs. And, 4, 5, 6 is where the Hornets, the Jazz, and the Wizards are. I believe, what is it, 8? You have the Nets, 7, the Pelicans. I don't understand why Ace Bailey would be turning workouts down, though, because Donnie, are there specifics on who he's turned down?
No, the report just said he wasn't like doing any of them. Like, he turned everybody down. You know what I mean? Like the top 3, like Spurs, Sixers. But then again, the report came out that he will meet with the Sixers at this point, which is funny. But from like a business standpoint in the NBA, right? There's no guarantee of where you're going. Like, Flagg's going 1. But if I told you, like, hey, if you work out and interview well, you could go 2. And that's like an extra $5 million guaranteed in your pocket, or whatever, how much it would be different. Between 2 and 3. And he's like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Just get me to a team where they're going to win 8 games next year, but I can maybe put up 20 as a rookie. Like, it almost doesn't even, like, business-wise, make any sense whatsoever.
Why are you making the leap that his thought process of not working out means I want to be on the worst team possible?
Because the thought process from his camp, which is what's leaking, which is what Jay was talking about this morning, was like he wants to be a star in the league, which is like, okay, I never met anybody saying, I want to go number 2, but be your ball player my whole career.
Yeah.
Like, they all want to be stars. They all think they're great. That's why they're going in the top 10. But he was basically saying, if you go to the Mavericks, you're not going to be a focal point on that team. Right. And again, Cooper Flagg's going. I'm just using it as an example where Kyrie's going to be there, and, you still have AD. You're not the focal point. Number 2 is the Spurs. That's Wembanyama's team. Growing young team, good team, lucked into that number 2 pick. I don't know if I want to go there because I can't shine. Philadelphia 76ers 3. Embiid comes back healthy. It's Paul George. It's Maxey. It's McLean. And it's like, or Jared McClain. Is it Jared McClain or McCann? Why am I saying that now? McClain, right? New kid?
Yeah, Jared McCain.
Yeah, McCain. Yes, McCain. So when I look at that and they say, well, I don't want to go there either because I can't be the focal point. Like, I want to sabotage myself to get to the bad basketball teams, and then maybe I can succeed that way. Like, that's how it's being played out right now, which is a crazy scheme for an agent and a player to actually do.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. No. So I'm playing a little bit of catch up in the reasoning. I knew he was declining the workouts. That isn't. You know what that sounds like to me, Donnie? A little bit.
What?
Ace Bailey really regrets going to Rutgers and playing with Dylan Harper.
I didn't get a chance to be a superstar on my own college team. You think I'm going to do this in the pros? Oh, my goodness. It's Moneyline. We'll be back. More hot topics on the way next.
Playoffs.
It all comes down to this.
And we
We'll give you all the angles to make sure you win a little something something. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. The Thunder beat the Pacers 120-109 to take a 3-2 lead in the NBA Final. 40 points and 6 rebounds in the win for Jalen Williams. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 31 along with 10 assists. Aaron Wiggins chipped in with 14 off the bench. Pascal Siakam led Indiana with 28. The teams were just about even in field goal percentage, three-pointers, and free throws. The biggest difference maker, the Pacers turned the ball over 23 times and coughed up 32 points, while the Thunder committed only 11 turnovers and allowed 9 points. Now the series heads back to Indianapolis for Game 6. That'll be this Thursday night. College World Series number 3 Arkansas eliminated Murray State with a 3-0 win. 19 strikeouts in the complete game no-hitter for the Razorbacks' Gage Wood, who tossed the third no-hitter in College World Series history and the first since 1960. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive.
That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Give me those sauces, grab the chicken strips, let's dunk them in there. There's nothing like it. Hey, I'm Joey. And I'm Josh. And we're team members at our local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing you'll love about the Chick-fil-A chicken strips is dipping them in our sauces. My sauce is the barbecue sauce. If you wanted to add sweet, tangy flavors, there's nothing like it. I love the garden herb ranch sauce, but if you want a little bit more kick in the spicy side, you can mix it with buffalo sauce. Dipping them in our sauces, it is perfection.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Team members paid for their testimonials.
Let's keep it real.
Baseball can be boring.
That's where SportsGrid comes in.
Nothing livens up those 9 innings like sports gaming. You might experience something you've never felt in a baseball game, a quickened pulse. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Chatbox out here rolling. It's Darren, it's Rycave, it's Kristen, it's Aaron, it's Jordan P., it's Francisco. The way we do it out here in the chat box. Having some fun. If you want a way to watch the show and listen to the show at the same time, completely free of charge, Kevin. Yeah, SportsGrid On Demand. That's on YouTube. 3 words, SportsGrid On Demand. You click on that, you'll see the live show pop up. Get in the chat box, come in here and say hello. A lot of interesting topics and I've said this morning, Kevin, with the NBA and the NHL, thank you. I'm just saying a thank you right now because we are right now a month away, give or take, from football season, which means when training camps start to open for a few franchises, then they all pile in like the early 20s. We're right at that point. But we were set up, and it's not devastation because there's things to talk about. But for the NBA, it's like, man, this might be 4 games. I think we might get 7 legitimately. The NHL is going to give us at least 6. They're playing tonight with a chance to go to 7, which would be Friday night, which would cover the rest of this week. Thank you, because we could have had disaster mode, which was 4-game series, 5-game series. Okay, we're talking about next year's odds to win the NBA championship for 6 hours a day at this point. So thank you to the NBA and also to the NHL, but also more importantly to the NBA, where it's the Pacers, forget about, because I come into the series, you got to prove it to us, these 2 teams. You want some ratings, you got to play good basketball. They're playing good basketball. There's going to be a game 6. I'm rooting all hell for Indiana. I don't care if Indiana wins the series. I want to see a game number 7 in the NBA. I think it would be fantastic. And the same thing in the NHL, or at least, Kevin, give me a game 6, then we go to overtime. Puck goes in the net. If it's Edmonton, oh my God, we got a game 7. Puck goes in, it's a Stanley Cup champion. Here comes the cup. A wild celebration ensues. So I just want to say, Kevin, thank you to the NBA and the NHL. Thank you.
Yeah, it's and it's funny, I think, Donnie, the juxtaposition of the 2 series, because the Oilers and Panthers is a Stanley Cup rematch. It's 2 of the very best teams. That series going along and being a battle is exactly what it's supposed to be. Yep. Where the Thunder and the Pacers was not, right? The consensus pick was, for most people, OKC in 5. I think there were a lot more OKC in 4s than there were OKC in 7s. Yeah. So, we weren't supposed to be at this kind of spot here. And I think I think it's great. I think what's incredible, though, is just from the hockey side of it, Donnie, at no point has Edmonton been able to look and feel better than Florida. Like, it's been a competitive series, but anytime one team is pulling away, it's Florida pulling away.
Yeah.
And that's pretty tough. Like, the fact that the Oilers, and I know that there's been other overtime games, but the Oilers' only victories have been in overtime. It's kind of remarkable. And, I don't know if for those who want to do the legacy stuff, right? Which is the NBA's, structure, and you carry it over to hockey. But man, McDavid, back-to-back years going up against this Florida team, still not being able to break through with a cup. I'm not holding it against him. I don't know enough and to be, not to be dismissed. I don't care enough. But like,
guy's fast. Guy's fast.
But Donnie, he is very clearly the best player in the history of hockey to not have a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, probably. Because all the
it's not even a
superstars
question,
got
Donnie.
one. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right, Donnie?
Chimed in.
Gretzky, Lemieux, Crosby, Ovechkin, Gordie Howe.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I missing?
Who's the guys back in the day, right? Brett Hull.
Like,
Brett
I don't
Hull
know
got one. Yeah, he got one because he beat the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, like the great hockey players of all guys.
Is there and I don't know how much you separate the skaters and the goalies, but do any of the all-time great goalies not have
Lundqvist, maybe?
a Stanley Cup?
Which I love the fact he doesn't have one, which is great. Yeah, like the Patrick Roys, the Brodeurs, even Bernie Parent got two with the Philadelphia Flyers. Like, yeah, usually the all-time players usually grab that. And even like Bourque was one of the best defensemen of all time for the Boston Bruins back in the day. They traded him like, you're not going to win it here. We're going to send you to Colorado. What does he do that year? Wins the Stanley Cup. So typically those players find themselves on those winning teams. But yeah, it's interesting as it plays out where how good he is and has like Canada on his back. And this is the year to do it. They had home ice advantage. They won game number 1. Now they find themselves in an elimination spot. By the way, he's minus 500 or higher, Kevin, at just about every outlet for a point tonight. Minus 500. That's unbelievable.
I want to try and do this without it seeming like McDavid slander, but like the best player, Donnie, in the history of the NBA to never win a championship is probably either Charles Barkley or James Harden. And neither guy is really a top 20 player ever, right? Connor McDavid, people would argue, is one of the 5 best players in the history of hockey. And that is pretty remarkable that this guy is this great. And the fact that the greats of this sports have all been able to get it done. Now, he still has career left. I don't know if that means him leaving Edmonton is inevitable, right? Which would be heartbreaking for them.
Losing McDavid and Gretzky in Edmonton, that'd be tough.
Did Gretzky win one in Edmonton? I don't.
Oh, won 4 of them, I think. 3 or 4 of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's where he won them all. He didn't win outside of Edmonton.
Oh, really?
In Edmonton. Yeah, he took the Kings to the Cup and lost. Had a couple runs with like the New York Rangers, but all of those came in the 1980s with Edmonton. Yeah, and he left Edmonton, and they still won the Stanley Cup. Mark Messier's won it again. Yeah.
Whoa.
Like Edmonton was a machine in the 80s.
Gretzky overrated? Question mark.
That's true. Yep, didn't need him. Like Bryce Harper, right? Leaves and goes to Philadelphia, and that's win a title. I mean, come on, one of the best players ever.
Just offered Bryce Harper in a fantasy trade, Donnie.
Don't need him anymore for the Philadelphia Phillies. Don't need him anymore. Yeah, so it's interesting just to see like the landscape of both of these, like the culmination. I love to watch championships, and we could get a Friday and Sunday championship at that point, which we certainly kind of wild at that point here. But other sports news, like across the landscape, like just talking about football, like Steve Egblum here. Football season is now loving the CFL. Like I was going back and forth with Gabe because Gabe loves the CFL. I'm like, you know what? I was sitting here yesterday, Kevin, and I texted Gabe. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to get into the CFL sooner or later. Like I need something for the summer months outside of baseball. You know how much he loves the CFL. He'll back it at that point. But I was on my couch yesterday, Kevin, and I think I might have watched like on and off like 2 football games. They're running like the great games like the past 4 or 5 years. Like I watched a Raiders-Chiefs game from I think it was 2023 where the Chiefs were down 17-0, came back to win. It was the game Kelsey scored 4 touchdowns receiving. And I said, I miss football so much. Like I knew the games, Kevin, but just to see it on my TV screen, I was like, you realize, and again, I always talk football. It's the greatest. Once you get the football season, it's not work anymore, and you have a ton more hours to work, but it's built around football. It makes some sense. I was watching yesterday going like, football is the greatest thing that is a God-gifted to this planet. Like I'm watching a replay in the middle of the summer with commercial breaks. Like not like, hey, 40-minute condensed here, watch every play. and just listen to like Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. And I'm like, bring it back in my life. I love football.
It's going to get here before we know it. You know what I didn't see a lot of, Donnie? But like there had to be some reports. I don't know if you were checking in on this. What's going on with the Browns quarterbacks? I think I saw one report that said basically either Gabriel or Shedeur is going to get cut.
I saw that last week. Which, understand this. If it gets to the point where because the Cleveland Browns have 4 quarterbacks in there, right? There's Joe Flacco, there's Kenny Pickett, and there's the 2 rookies. If it comes down to they drafted 3rd-round pick, 5th-round pick, young quarterback, which you draft a quarterback, like even in the NFL, 6th or 7th round, and he's a rookie, there's no way, shape, or form, like, he doesn't make your roster. Like, you drafted him. Like, doesn't matter if it's like, that's your guy you're trying to develop for a year or 2 to see if he's a starter and or just can be in the NFL and you can use him as a backup or maybe flip him for a 5th or 4th rounder in 2 or 3 years when he's a little bit older. But the fact for me is, like, there's a chance that Shedeur Sanders might not make the team. I'm like, or Gabriel be like, this is the stupidest franchise in the history of sports. Like, to me, it's like, hey, you know what? The 2 rookies are playing good. Kenny Pickett's still young. We don't know if he has a future, but he's still young. Hey, Joe, thanks for the offseason. Thanks for being a pro. You're out of here because you're not in our future plans. Like, what would happen? Oh, we're going to keep Pickett. We're going to keep Flacco. And you can't make Shedeur Sanders a practice squad player. He will get picked up. You can't do that to Gabriel. So theoretically, one has to go. But why would you have – you're going to hold 4 quarterbacks on your active roster? Stop the madness at this point. Yeah, a lot of interesting topics. Let's get back to that Cleveland topic after we get right back here. And baseball, baby. Baseball.
By the end, you might not have a ring on your finger. Stay tuned and you'll have a little something in your pocket. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. College World Series number 3 Arkansas eliminated Murray State with a 3-0 win. 19 strikeouts in the complete game no-hitter for the Razorbacks' Gage Wood, who tossed the 3rd no-hitter in College World Series history and the 1st since 1960. The Razorbacks able to stave off elimination. Their next game has a trip to the semifinals on the line. They'll take on the losing team of the UCLA-LSU matchup. That was suspended last night in the 4th inning due to weather with LSU up 5-3. They're set to resume things this morning. Oregon State and Louisville are set to play this afternoon. That's an elimination game. The winner advances to the semifinals to face Coastal Carolina. Stanley Cup final tonight, Oilers and Panthers in Florida. The defending champion Panthers up 3-2 in the series. NBA final, the Thunder beat the Pacers 120-109 Monday to go up 3-2 in the best of 7. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive.
That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out?
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Ah, springtime. When a young man's fancy turns to...
Get your mind out of the gutter.
For sports gaming strategies and information that gives you an unfair advantage, you'll find it all right here.
It's the winning edge.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Hey, game number 6, NHL, Edmonton, Florida. Minus 150 price cap, which I think's light. I do. Here's the reason why I loved Florida in game number 5. So you were telling me we had a minus 110 side on both sides money line at Bet365 for that game. And I had a goalie crisis on one side where you were going to start a backup. And again, I joke about saying like the backup wasn't oh, it's Patrick Waugh finally coming back, and he's just getting his legs under him. But, boy, if he gets hot, he can dominate like Dominic Hasek back in the day. You had Picard, who's like your average run-of-the-mill backup that never should be a starter. Oh, let's put him in the biggest game of the year and see how he goes up against it. I thought that was the steal of the century. Now, granted, not like I'm betting a ton of money. I put down, I think it was $45 total. It wasn't even $50. But I won that. I was like, that felt good. Like, I nailed that handicap. Like, I'm going against a bum goalie against a team that can win the Stanley Cup and might be the best team. I love that. So when I saw the price point open for this game at minus 140, like yesterday with Joe, I'm like, Joe, that doesn't make any sense. No surprise it's minus 150, minus 155, minus 160 at Bet 365 tonight. Like, I like Florida again. Like, if you are having goalie issues in the playoffs at this level, I can't back you at any price. I don't care what it is, even if I'm rooting for Edmonton to force a Game 7.
Right. No, I think that's
a card. Come on.
But Donnie, isn't he like unbeaten or something like that? Like before last game? Wasn't that the story on him?
Oh, the story was he stinks in his career. That's the only story.
Yeah. All right. There you go. Nope. You know what? You got it. I'll tell you what I'm disappointed in. I'm disappointed in that the Conn Smythe Trophy, which has just been an absolute delight to follow and figure out who's going to win it. I feel like the door is slammed. I feel like it's going to be Bennett now. All these goals.
I don't believe.
You think it's Marchand?
You tell me how this happens. Because again, we're humans that vote on this. Now, I'm not a human that does vote on it, but humans vote on it. I get it. It's the whole way for the playoffs. Let me set the stage for you tonight. Bennett doesn't score. 2-0 final. Marchand has them both. But he didn't have as many goals in the entire playoff run. No, but he set a record for most goals in a Stanley Cup final and was the catalyst for your team, scoring big goal after big goal. It's like, well, Halliburton can't win it. Well, wait a second. The guy hit 4 game-winning shots in the finals. Yeah, but Siakam had 25. He averaged 22. Like sometimes you have to take a look at the statistics and say, where do they weigh and are they weighted? Hey, I scored 6 times in round number 1. Yeah, that's great. But once we got to the finals, when the lights were on the brightest, who was kicking ass? And it's been Brad Marchand. So for me, I look at it and say, if we don't get a goal from Bennett tonight, and we get one from Brad, and let's just say, I don't even say, Kevin, was it overtime game-winning goal? Yes. I'm just saying the game-winning goal. 3-3, 10 minutes to go in the third period. He nets when they make it 4-3, they win the game. How is he not the concept? I don't care about the entirety of the playoffs where Bennett had more goals than him. I don't care about that. Who's jetpacking it in the Stanley Cup final? That should weight it 3 times to 1 from what you did previously. You should get the golden ball, Kevin, when you shoot the 3-point shot. The golden ball should be in the NHL final.
I think, Donnie, though, it's odd because I think what you're really doing is just making a case the Conn Smythe Trophy should not be for the entire postseason. It should just be for the Stanley Cup final.
It should.
Right?
Yeah, correct.
Which I think is a totally fine stance to make.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is for the entire postseason, you know what I mean? Like, that becomes really difficult for me, at least.
They're close. Yeah, but it's not as if it's like a blowout either direction. Like, he has more points and more, close on points. And I think he had 5 more coming into last game. I don't know where it sits right now. But
Bennett's got 5 goals in this series, Donnie? 5 goals and an assist. And Marchand has 6 goals and an assist? Or he has no assists? He has 6 goals.
I don't know. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Also, Donnie, weighted goals. I like the weighted goals, man. Where are they coming from? Who's got the monster goals? And again, it is going to come down to tonight because I wouldn't put it past. It does matter, this game. If they both finish with a meaningless goal, if that makes sense, 6-1 final, and they both scored, it's going to Bennett. But I'm not shutting the door on Marchand. Do I think he's going to get a hat trick and be the only 3 goals of the game? No, I don't. But there is a chance he scores and Bennett doesn't, and it's a close game, and that was a meaningful goal, which again would boost that profile higher for me. I just like it weighted. That's all. I just feel like it needs to be weighted.
And I don't mind that. I think just from the numbers, the raw numbers of it all, though, Donnie, don't even necessarily put Marchand that much further in front of Bennett. And listen,
Marchand, give me Marchie.
But I also think, Donnie, we're doing this thing now with these awards where, hey, listen, man. By the way, game 1, game 2, those didn't even happen. What'd you do last game? Because now we're doing this thing where, hey, Jalen Williams.
Oh,
yeah, but Donnie, we're doing this thing where it's hey, Jalen Williams, Finals MVP. No, What? Stop. It's embarrassing. If I was the NBA, Donnie, I would ask my voter pool, hey, by the way, guys, just want to check in. Where are you at right now? And every person that says Jalen Williams, I'm taking their vote away. I'm taking their vote away. Because they have no idea what's going on.
Adam Silver going on national TV like, okay, DraftKings or whatever is our partner. I called them today to take his numbers down. Like, he can't win it. Like, stop it. Yeah. We're going to do a stop betting it. We don't allow him to win it. It's like, if you want to bet anybody on OKC, the only guy you can bet is SGA. Because the question, again, we love the theatrics of it all, right? Because he's closing the gap because he's having good games. But that's what the odds market's supposed to do. Like, well, somebody's got to be second in case, again, SGA twists his ankle and he goes through 68 as a finals champion at this point. Yes, like things like that can happen, which is why the price points are there. But again, if it's game 6 in Indiana, hey, SGA tipped in 33, but Williams at 38 though. Got to give him that MVP. You know, like, no, you're right about that. You're right about that.
Donnie, I saw a person online whose opinion I respect enough. Mm-hmm. Jalen Williams controlled game 4. I don't care about that. SGA scored 15 in the fourth quarter as they made the fourth quarter comeback. What are you talking about? Stop.
People just reach. He's the most hated team out there, OKC. Are they hated? Is SGA the most hated superstar?
People are now using the awards to just get takes off. Like, that's what they did with the conference finals MVP with Pascal versus Tyrese. They're like, you know what, man? Like, Pascal deserves some love. He's getting my vote. Like, I feel like, Donnie, it's one of those things where you had a couple guys who are like, hey, I just want to show Pascal a little love here. And then too many people did that. They're like, whoa, we didn't want him to win.
Yes, exactly.
I just wanted him to get a vote.
Like, Halliburton's ready to flash the signs like he won. Just had to dip back into the back. Like, oh, Pascal got it. Like,
he should have just grabbed it from Pascal.
Yeah, he should have. Yep, exactly. Just like Connor Cook back in the day for Michigan State. Give me that trophy, baby. We'll be right back. It's Moneyline.
We don't care what your high school girlfriend told you. You are a winner.
Or at least you will be if you keep it here.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime. On the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
For anyone who's worried about back taxes, has not filed tax returns, and doesn't know what to do next, stop and listen. Not filing your taxes can have severe consequences, especially in this political climate. Now that COVID is over, the IRS is getting aggressive, massively increasing enforcement and collection efforts. With politicians making all sorts of promises, especially when it comes to taxes, hiding and not dealing with your taxes will cause you harsh legal and financial ramifications. But right now, the IRS offers forgiveness and writes off a massive amount of tax debt. The Tax Doctor offers a free service that helps people get out of IRS collections and back in good standing with the government. Don't hide or bury your head in the sand. Take advantage of our free service. Call now to learn more. 800-816-4492. 800-816-4492. 800-816-4492. That's 800-816-4492.
Football full circle.
Zach Taylor gone, or Zach Taylor's job security perfect in Cincinnati for the next 2 or 3 seasons?
I hope he's gone. He's awful. He's been awful. We've made fun of him over the years. Sometimes you got to take 1 step back to go 2 steps forwards. I would think this would be his last year if they didn't reach the postseason.
It's football full circle with Ben Stevens and Scott Wetzel. Weekdays noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network. If you want to be an alpha,
you've got to get the winning edge.
It's kind of a necessary ingredient if you want to lead the pack. So mark your territory
with the winning edge.
You're in the big leagues. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Well, we got some action tonight in Major League Baseball. I've been laying low, but tonight we're not going to lay low. There are some pitchers I really like to fade tonight. Senzatello's on the mound for Colorado against Washington. Washington's struggling. Don't give a damn if Washington wins any games. They're minus 200 today. Would never bet that. But they got a couple left-handed batters. By the way, lefties smash Antonio Senzatella. So, well, Donnie, usually it's Colorado. I don't care about that. His xFIP is over 5. His ERA for the past month is almost a 9 at this point. He can't get lefties out. And the look at the lineup for Washington tonight, Kevin, it's like the first batter of the game is going to be a righty. Every other batter is going to be a lefty. Like it's almost like a match made in heaven where you should get home runs. You should get runs in that spot. Randy Vasquez, one of my favorite fadeable pitchers who somehow pitches with a decent ERA. He's going to struggle tonight. Why? Because it's the Dodgers. And the Dodgers don't let you off the hook. If you don't strike guys out in 79-degree temperatures in L.A., that guy's going to get hit. Brandon fought for Arizona tonight. That guy, he has a 10 ERA over the past month and an xFIP of close to 5. He's getting hammered tonight. Like, I'm excited about the card today, Major League Baseball. I am.
Yeah, I haven't necessarily eyed that up yet. I know that it's a decent slate. I know that the WNBA has a ton of games, by the way, tonight. I think the whole league is playing.
Is it the Commissioner's Cup?
Did you catch any of the Caitlin Clark weekend festivities?
Donnie? Oh, my God. I'm glad. Like, we could have 3 sections on this. But for me, like, I look at this and say, like, the WNBA ratings are down. No kidding. Like, Michael Jordan not playing in the NBA, LeBron James at its height. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was going to watch this Cleveland game. Now I'm not going to do that. That was always going to happen. But the fact that she came back and just, like, wiped the floor, like, I don't wish for the downfall of the league, but sometimes I wish, like, Caitlin Clark would be like, okay, I'm not playing again until my salary is, like, $10 million. I don't care that your base salary is $275,000. I want $10 million or I am not showing up. And Kevin, I swear she could do that. I swear it would. They'd be like, you know what? She's right.
She is by far the most valuable, when you just talk about all that stuff, player by like a lot. But also from like the MVP point of it, Donnie, there's not a better case you could make than without you, the team cannot beat bad teams. And then you come back and drop 32, 9, and 7 on the Liberty, who have not lost a game all year.
Correct.
Like, I was a little skeptical of how tight to the vest FanDuel was playing her MVP prop despite her missing time. And I now think she owns the best MVP case game of the year. And I actually think that she, like, her winning that award, by the way, in her second year would be pretty crazy. Like, when you just think about it, Donnie, like, how many of those is she going to win?
Yeah.
I think it's still going to be, I think she's still up against it. You know, I think Nafisha Collier's status as the favorite at this point is rightful, but she is going to make that a race.
Like, bringing interest, like the WNBA, who I think is in a really solid footing, obviously with Caitlin Clark. You know, Paige Beckers comes into the league. Juju's going to eventually come into the league. Like, they're at a spot where they can really maximize it. But I always equate it to this as well. Like, when the NHL, which I love the sport of the NHL, particularly when the Flyers are good, you can really get into it. Or at least I can get into it. But in the 1980s, like late 1970s, Gretzky comes in. And like, all right, we're not a mainstream sports league. We're not really a niche, but we do really well with the teams that we have. And we're looking to build that marketing. And Gretzky was the golden goose. And they made it a point in that league to say, you're not going to touch this guy. But it wasn't like a directive from the owners, like, this guy's going to win everything for us. Like, the players understood, if this guy eats and we don't take cheap shots at him, we're all going to make more money. We're going to get to the next level. And the NHL did that in the 80s. It took the world. Like, the NHL was more popular in the 1990s than probably it is even now, if that makes sense. He was the king of the world, but everybody understood that. So it's almost like when they say, we hate Caitlin Clark, we're going to really go at her. It's like, why are we doing this backwards? Like, if I told you in 3 years your contract is going to triple because you just didn't take cheap shots at Caitlin Clark, like, she can't be, we can't let her get away with this stuff. It's unbelievable where, like, from a business mindset, yes, you're not going to say, I'm going to play phantom defense, we're not going to touch her, but the animosity as opposed to just building the league up by, like, thank you, she is here, we love playing against her, I want to beat her, she's great, as opposed to, I don't like this girl, or why is she getting so much attention, pay attention to the other teams, stop putting the fever on national TV. It's almost like, I would say, like as a Sky player, put them on every single game national TV. So we go to NBC in 3 years and go, we want 10 times the amount we're making now. Do you see the ratings? As opposed to, why is she on TV? Put my team on TV to tank the ratings. Unbelievable.
I'll add this, okay? On the other side of stuff. Angel Reese with a triple-double, great for the league also. The league is better off if Angel Reese plays well.
Yeah.
Like, the league is not in a better place if she shoots.
First shot.
No, yeah, I seen that. Like, Donnie, the league is better off if she doesn't shoot 30% from the field. Bang!
bang, and that'll do it. Angel Reese and everybody else. JP behind the whistle, Steel Danny right second. We'll see ya!
What makes life worth living.
Actionable insights, analysis, odds, and expert perspective on sports gaming.
If we do say so ourselves.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.